How about some music while we wait? There. I can't hear it, so I have to guess when it finishes. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to my guests. We have Larry the Horror Cat Dad here, Brian Levant, toy collector down here, and Marty from the Trash Picture Show down below me.
Hello.
And we have some toys to give away. So, Mr. Levant, you might know as the writer of My Life and Toys, which is available on Amazon, and I will put a link in the chat. And he's going to hold up the book. It's the very heavy book, 480 pages.
We're going to see a lot of toys today, and everything we'll see is in My Life and Toys. As you can see, the supersized book of my collections and career that we'll be touching on both today.
Surely you haven't got any Flintstones toys.
Certainly I do. You want to start there?
Right.
No, I tried to, you explained we're doing kind of a show and tell, and my real treasures are buried so deep in shelves that it's like heart surgery to try and get them out. So I did have a lot of things here in my office, and I wanted to try and showcase things that I had a hand in creating and the things that I worked on and stuff. And sure, let's start with the Flintstones. Because, as the director and uncredited writer of the Flintstones, for the first film, we created over 6,000 vehicles, creatures, props, everything from the kitchen sink to toilet paper that you saw in the houses all had to be made, designed, and it was great fun. And one of my favorites was this, the Mattel had the LeSabre Tooth 5000. The name came from the Buick LeSabre. And of course, saber-toothed tigers reflected in the grill here, with using the spine and the tusks. And it's really, this is the car that Fred buys when he becomes an executive. This is his executive outfit, which I actually found in a Flintstones paper doll set from 1962, and we turned that into his business outfit, and it's very striking. And the Dick-the-Bird riding along with him, not the best version of it, but what a pleasure it was to work with the Henson Creature Shop in London, who are just master puppeteers and just the most creative place I've ever been. And so this car I'm very proud of in particular for a couple reasons. Number one, that it was based on the 1937 Delaplane. That was, I first saw, it's the car that George and Marion Kirby drive in Topper, the film with Cary Grant, Constance Bennett. And it was also the model for the Batmobile. Note the single fin. That made it very Flintstonian. And we had a lot of fun with the cars. That's so weird. Oh, good. Oh no! It's only 30 years old. Jeez. Did you want more Flintstones, or are we going to go around the horn?
Well, I'll show up a couple of things I wanted to.
Please.
That's related. So, first of all, I found this the other day. The Flintstones soundtrack.
Wow.
Very good. Very good.
It's got Weird Al on it.
Great working with the B-52s that we rechristened the BC 52s. Now on their goodbye tour.
Also, I brought my Jingle All the Way VHS because this Wednesday is the anniversary. It was released in the UK this Wednesday, the 6th. It's a sealed tape. Yeah, it was a month after the US. So take that off. There we go. So there we go. Right.
Well, I can do Jingle All the Way too, I'm so thrilled that here it is 26 years later, and the film is still revered, and it was a total failure when it was released. And it is since, because of people like you, developed a whole new audience and following, and people who actually think it's a good movie, as opposed to originally released. And I had a strong hand in designing the Turbo Man costume, and along with Tim Flattery, who also worked on the Flintstones, designing vehicles and things, and my storyboard artist Daryl Henley. And for the 25th anniversary last year, not only did Funko revive the original Tiger Toy talking 14-inch Turbo Man, but they also produced a line of Funko Pops with Turbo Man. And here is the Howard, as they call it, Howard Langston as Turbo Man, Arnold, holding a Turbo Man doll. And
nice.
So they did a whole line of these. And again, it's really great that something that was that should have, by all rights, ended up as a guitar picks, becoming a cultural institution, and things with fans who are paying hundreds of dollars for beautiful new custom-made Turbo Man.
Yes, they are, because they're very expensive, the new ones.
Yes, but you also get the original Turbo Man, Dan Reardon, saying things like, it's turbo time.
That's awesome.
Did we ever get booster toys?
They got one.
Nobody wants booster.
Let somebody else play.
Right, Larry, let's go to you. What are you got?
Okay.
You're surrounded by too much stuff.
Yeah, sort of. I guess the one of my old figures back when 2004, I wanted to show my McFarlane Elder Predator from AVP. I never opened it, still sealed.
No.
The only thing, it's so old that I don't know if the camera picks it up, but the hand broke off in there. Yeah, that's the only bummer. But yeah, when this movie first came out, I was absolutely in love with it, especially that Elder Predator at the end. This is the only figure I picked up because the Elder Predator was just so awesome to me.
Right.
Which movie is that from? That's not from the first one.
No, it's the first AVP. It's the first Alien vs. Predator.
Okay.
Yeah, that like I said, from that movie, that was really the main thing that I liked from that movie, aside from like the weaponry. But the Elder Predator was the thing that's.
Do you not unbox your toys?
It's gonna be one of those debates.
I'm just going to tilt my laptop this way as not to offend Brian.
So I decided, since my channel is basically I review figures. So originally I don't open figures, I didn't, and that's why that one is still sealed up. But like the NECA figures, I open them up, I review them, and then the only ones that I actually have open right now are just my Universal Monsters. All the other ones, after I review them, I put them back in the box.
I'm glad NECA have done collector-friendly boxes, because I remember that was a bit of a pain in the butt with McFarlane, because once you opened it, the packaging was destroyed. And in reference as well to the Elder Predator losing a hand, the early McFarlane figures were incredibly prone to break. They were really easy. You'd look at them the wrong way, and the arms would just fall off.
Right, what do you got, Marty?
You've seen this guy before. This is putting an age on me, but this is my original Kenner T-Rex from Jurassic Park. This is a lot of sentimentality for me because my brother and sister, they started a job around Christmas time. Their first job around Christmas time. They saved up and got me this because this guy was not cheap back when he originally came out. And I've had him ever since. He's a bit worse to wear, and I can't put the battery in the sound box anymore because he never stops screaming. but still, I love this guy. One thing a lot of people got pissed off with is the Stan Winston maquette was actually used on the back of the Kenner packaging, so people thought you were going to get a bulkier animal. But regardless, still a cool figure, and the paint work, the design is still here, and you still get the kind of essence of the Stan Winston creature in this figure, and it's lasted this long. So I love this. I love this figure.
Nice.
It's very interesting. You mentioned Stan Winston. Spielberg had wanted me to use Stan Winston for the Flintstones. He had just done Jurassic Park, and he is brilliant at what he did. However, I never detected any whimsy within the man, and I think we ended up with a much better fit with the Henson people, and I'm sure that was disappointing to Mr. Spielberg and others in his administration, but it also shows the backing that they gave to artists. That was your decision, and it's your film, and they're just there to help facilitate it.
Nice.
And I've been to Stan Winston's workshop, and you're lucky to get out of there with both your arms.
Brian, I have to say though, you made the perfect choice, because the Jim Henson Creature Shop, like, you were recreating a cartoon, a classic cartoon, and as you said, while Winston, I love Stan Winston stuff, his stuff kicked ass, but there was just that meaner, kind of grittier look to a lot of his creatures, whereas I think the Jim Henson workshop suited the live action Simpsons way better.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I made the right choice here.
Yep. So I'll just say hi to everyone. Hello, Luke. Hello, Michael. Hello, Karen.
Scooby-Doo 3.
You've done a couple of more of those, haven't you?
No, yes. Yes. We did two live action CGI Scooby films for the Cartoon Network. They're still the top, the two highest rated programs in their history. And I just posted on Instagram yesterday a wonderful shot of me and the four kids. And they were kids. The youngest was 15 years old when we made the first one, and Robbie Amell was the oldest at 21, and it was just great to work with people with such incredible enthusiasm. I brought a couple things from it. There were Happy Meals and things done in conjunction with the first one, Scooby-Doo: The Mystery Begins, and the only one I really like is this small rolling chomping Scooby head, which has no relationship to the movie whatsoever, but it's a good toy. But I love lenticulars. I basically have half a chapter of them in the book, and I really wanted the cover of the DVD to be lenticular, and they went along with me, and they even made it. And then when they found out what it cost, they didn't do it, but I did get the sample, which is
nice.
Oh, nice.
I think I've got one of those that is lenticular. I'll have to check that film or one of the films.
Yes, I'm just sorry they didn't do it. What do you think it cost them? A nickel? Seriously, when you're ordering 2 million of something like that, you get a pretty good price.
Right, Larry, what do you got?
So as I mentioned before, I have my Universal Monsters, most of them unboxed. So I'll show some of my favorite Universal Monster is a Creature from the Black Lagoon. So I got my Mondo creature, and then I also got my NECA one that came out this year. So I thought I would bring them out and show them up.
One you put up?
This one, the bigger one. This one, Mondo.
Wow,
they made this one, and this one came out a few years back. Yeah, it was a Christmas gift from my wife, and yeah, absolutely love it. It's my favorite She had asked me if I was going to unbox it, and I was like, I mean, look at this thing. I have to unbox it. You know? It's just absolutely incredible.
No, you need to get a Barbie doll that he can carry out of the water.
Yeah. And then the NECA one, it just came out this year, so I have him next to the one from Mondo. Not as big, obviously, but
Larry,
still looks incredible.
Larry, are you going to get the Jeddah one that came out?
I've been thinking about it. Which one are you talking about? The one that
it comes with an
go
on.
Well, no, I got confused. I thought you meant the Super 7 one, the one that you can take the chest off and stuff like that.
There's a budgetary range of Universal figures that came out, and they're like $20, but they're really, really nice. I got the Invisible Man, and I'm thinking of picking up Frankenstein's monster and the Bride of Frankenstein. If you wanted to build up a collection, the Universal Monster collection on a budget, they're the way to go. Because I love NECA, but a bit pricey on the pocket sometimes.
Yeah, they can get a little pricey for sure.
But let me ask you guys a question about Universal Monsters. Why have they been so unsuccessful in building new franchises? I mean, the Mummy was what, 35 years ago, and that's the last we've heard of this.
Well, I mean, there was that Tom Cruise featuring the Mummy. There was that one.
Yeah, right. And then they gave up.
Yeah, they had one failure and thought, no, it's not going to work. When they could have done the Invisible Man. They did the Invisible Man, but low budget then, didn't they?
Yeah,
and that one's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that was cool because that took a more serious tone. Whereas I think with the Mummy, the Tom Cruise Mummy, everyone's about building universes now.
Yeah.
There's no cohesion. It's just a slap out a film and connect it to something else.
Well,
and
sorry. No. I just saw the trailer for King Kong versus Godzilla, for God's sake, and that they're making that work. But here's Universal, the bedrock of horror movies, and nothing.
I think they always try and turn They're trying to turn the Universal monsters into superheroes.
Yeah,
you don't do that.
That sounds like executive thinking.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. I honestly go ahead, man. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry, Larry. I think that we already got our really cool kind of Universal monster team-up movie, The Monster Squad by Fred Decker. That was a fucking kick-ass monster movie.
Mm-hmm. They did it the right way.
Yeah.
Whereas now I feel like they're just trying to like throw stars, throw like big budget, all this stuff. I've said in other live streams with people, it's like if you look at the old Universal monster movies, those movies are like over 60 minutes, not 2.5 hours. And those movies are so great. They're so tight. They're so like, they have so much in such a small amount of time. Whereas like, why do we need a 2.5 hour film about the Mummy? Like
doesn't change the toys.
Right. Where do we get to? Marty, is it next?
Yeah. I'm going to show this guy. Speaking of Universal Monsters, King Kong. This is my McFarlane Willis O'Brien King Kong. He came with a standard stuff, but it's a pain in the arse to haul up. I love this guy. Very limited articulation, but what he lacks in articulation, he makes up in detail. Again, the real furrowed brow, which Willis O'Brien put on Kong, and just the chains and stuff. A weird kind of thing. Among my friends and associates and stuff, I didn't buy this guy. I got him because a dude was clearing out his attic and go, "You're into toys?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I thought I was going to get a bunch of shitty GI Joes, and he gave me this. And I'm like, "Are you sure you want to give me this?" And he's like, "No, I can't do anything with it." And I'm like, "Okay." So yeah, I ended up with this guy by sheer accident, and he's the prize of my collection.
Nice. That's
very nice.
Pickups. What have I got? Oh, sure. One on mine. Where are we? One I had as a kid.
Oh, nice.
His little denim wear in case he wants to change. But yeah. Telescope still works, but he doesn't raise his arms anymore.
Is it blurry when you look through it?
It's far away, It's hard to tell. Maybe if I look through the other way.
For Amit, that is the $6 million man, right?
Still got his trainers and socks.
Nice.
I did replace the plastic on his arm. That's why I can't raise his arm, because it's a fake skin, but it was a bitch to get on, so it just ripped. But he does have his computer parts under there, and the badges are replica, but everything else is original.
Wow.
Yeah, for an old toy sculpt, that is a nice likeness of Lee Majors, I gotta say.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, it wasn't bad. I could tell it's him. Right, we got a question for Brian.
Oh.
Oh, you have it from Pugwell. Does you have any Mork and Mindy figures? Do they make such a thing?
Yes, I have every Mork and Mindy figure. Wait, let's see if we can just tilt up a little and show you a little bit there. That's just what I have in the office. There's much more.
Oh yeah, I see them
in the main room. But I when I was 22 years old, I had my first meeting with Happy Days. And I sold them a story, and I was there on and off for 8 years, and 2 of the years I was off, where I was with Robin Williams and Pam Dauber producing Mork and Mindy, which was an incredible experience, one that just left you totally exhausted every day, because in order to write for him, you had to think like him and do it without drugs, which was a real trick. But Happy Days, and I'm happy to say that my next book coming out next September is called 50 Years of Happy Days, in honor of the 50th anniversary in 2024. And I can't tell you how I loved the show, loved working on the show, and most of all, loved the people on the show. And, yes, they're still making Funko Pop once again, making Happy Days figures and things. But my favorite Happy Days toy, about, I think it was like 1998 or so, the Figures Toy Company does a lot of lines of TV shows. Did a beautiful, complete set of Happy Days. Al Molinaro, Joni, Chachi, Donnie, Most, Anson Williams, Richie, and 3 different versions of Fonzie, including Fonzie in his Falcons jacket.
Nice.
That was his gang, and this was a limited edition, and that is from an episode I wrote that aired in 1979 called Our Gang, where and basically it was the pilot that they never did for Happy Days of how Richie Cunningham met the Fonz, and how their relationship was built. And so I just bought a second one of those just in case something happened to the one I got on the shelf.
You can never have enough spares.
No, and I had the jacket at the end of the season. I said to the wardrobe people, "Let me take that, huh?" And I wore it literally until my hands went right through the pockets, and I had no idea what happened to it. But then in later years, they had some of his friends, and they made much nicer jackets than they made for my episode.
Right, Larry, what you got?
So I'm gonna go with some of my first NECA figures that I ever picked up, and I didn't even realize these were NECA figures back then when I picked them up. They're Player Select line, but I'm a huge Castlevania fan also.
Nice.
So I got Dracula and I got the Succubus. I recently picked up. I found at a good price because these are stupid, crazy expensive right now. I found a Simon Belmont. I just didn't bring them out but yeah, these two huge. I was a huge Castlevania fan growing up, and when I saw these, I mean, I bought these when they were like normal price. They're ridiculous, but yeah. Again, going back to I love Universal Monsters and stuff like that. So
right. Interesting. The Fonz figures, awesome. Michael Myers has only got the Rubik's Cube configuration box. That's about his level. Right, Marty, what do you got? Right, Marty.
I'm going to go with not really a toy as such, but it's my Kester Wolf bust. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a nice sculpt. It's from a company called Sota Toys. They went defunct in I think the tail end of the 2010s, and essentially they had a line of it was all Universal properties. They had a line of I have that, and I have the diorama of McCready versus the dog thing, and they were again, I would have brought that out, but it's just a pain in the butt to try and haul around. But Sota, if you can get your hands on Sota stuff, do, because they're really nicely crafted, and they are a good investment if you can find them out in the wild.
Wow. I don't even know that film. What is it from?
American Werewolf in London.
Oh, that's okay. All right, yeah, John Landis and Rick Baker.
Yeah,
that's it.
He based the werewolf. Baker based the werewolf on his dog Bosco, little kind of terrier, little hairy terrier, Highland terrier.
Keep away from him.
What I think really distinguished that film was the pain it took to transition into a werewolf.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, you watch. I just saw a clip of Lon Chaney looking at his hands, right? And the fingers are going before your eyes. Great stuff.
Right, what do I got? I'll say if anyone can recognize what this is.
No, oh yes, that's not Fireball XL5, the Thunderbirds.
Nope.
No.
Above and Beyond.
Put it back a little bit. It's getting glary.
Isn't it? It's very white.
Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, come on, people. Down,
Space 1999?
down. Sorry?
Space 1999?
It's Buck Rogers.
That's
okay.
Buck Rogers, the TV version. Okay.
Yep.
No, if we're going sci-fi.
Oh yeah.
In 1990, growing up, one of my favorite things was Flash Gordon. They used to play the old 1937, 39, 1940 serials on Sunday mornings, and I was hooked. And in 1996, working with Rick Kopp and David Goodman, who also just did the Orville, we did our tribute to Flash Gordon, The Adventures of Captain Zoom in Outer Space. And that was great fun because I got to design rocket ships and ray guns. And I brought one of them out. That this was a prop from the film that the bad guy soldiers used. And the way that we created all of the ray guns that we did was I took my book of ray guns and basically cut them up into pieces and put the pieces together. So they all were like all these shapes came from different toys. And then they had these, I expected stuff to be made out of plastic. This is aluminum
It looks heavy.
Cast plastic, and they're weighty, and they made a good noise too. But we did dozens of things like that, and then all our rocket ships we took from concept cars of the 1950s. That they were trying to make cars that that looked like rockets, and so that's what we used as the basis for all of our ships. And it was a great undertaking. Too bad we didn't get more. It would have been a great toy line.
Yeah. Did they land in a spiral? Right, Larry.
Well, sticking with sci-fi. I got a couple Funkos here. I'm a huge fan of Mystery Science Theater, so I got my Crow and Tom Servo. These were probably one of the first Funkos that I actually got. I wasn't a big, and I'm still really not a big Funko person, but I'm a huge Mystery Science Theater fan. So when the show was being revived, they came out with these, and I was like, I have to have these. I mean, just they're great. I mean, I love the show so much.
I have the very, very first Funko product. Believe it or not, it's
really?
Yes, this is it. A big boy bobblehead from 1998. And they started doing amazing stuff from the start, most of it in bobbleheads and advertising icons and stuff. And I said to myself, I really should buy stock in this company, or even try and buy the company. Now, of course, I did nothing about it. Otherwise, I'd be calling it from my beach house in Malibu.
Well, if I can just throw a little bobblehead real quick. You're right, sir, because you know, I got these not even knowing they were Funko, but they're bobbleheads, and they're actually like horror themed Star Wars. So it's like a zombie stormtrooper and a Grim Reaper Jawa, and they're bobbleheads. I just I never realized that they were Funko until years later. I was like, wow. Sorry to interrupt, but I thought it would be pretty cool to.
As long as we're on bobbleheads, one more. You know, you develop like a theme here. This is the Satchel Paige, the legendary baseball player, started in the black leagues and was a rookie. Won Rookie of the Year honors in 1951 with Cleveland at the age of 48, and made his last appearance in Major League Baseball at the age of 66. And the only guy who got a hit off of him was Hall of Famer Carl Yastrzemski. But this is the talking Satchel Paige bobblehead from Are We There Yet?, who was Ice Cube's inner voice in the film, and saying the things he couldn't say out loud. And we got him actually from the Negro Leagues Hall of Fame in Kansas City. Wonderful people, a great museum. And, you know, I love bobbleheads, and I'm so glad, you know, that they've become part of the culture, because when I was a kid, you know, all you had was baseball mascots, you know, and they were very nice. And you see the occasional Roy Rogers or Mickey Mantle. I got Willie Mays up there somewhere. But, you know, never anticipated that it would become such a major pop culture component in every collection, or most every collection, I should say.
Yeah, I don't know. Right, who's up? Is it Marty now?
Yeah. This one might interest Larry. It's my NECA Predator Concrete Jungle.
Tilt it down a little. There, tilt it down. Oops, no, back and down. Trying to get rid of that glare.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't know, guys. I'll try. Any better?
That better.
Focus.
It's just fun watching you try.
There, that's better, right?
That's fine. That's better, yeah.
Man.
Ooh.
That's nice.
What did Arnold say in the first one? You're an ugly. What was it?
You're an ugly
motherfucker. And this guy's particularly ugly because in the video game he gets shot in the face, and that's how he gets the name Scarface.
Mm-hmm.
Great figure.
That's awesome.
Right. What have I've got something different. Electronics. All right, see if you can guess what this is.
I don't even remember what you call that.
Simon.
Simon says.
Oh, shit. I didn't get that one. Jesus. Didn't like it.
It's dying.
I had the big one as a child, but then I picked it. They're quite expensive to collect now.
Really? They were great. They were great.
Yeah. Hours of fun. You don't need video games.
Simon was good training for video games.
It was memory training, wasn't it? Did Brian, did any Married with Children toys get made?
Yes, they did. Presents, who did the line of Happy Days toys, also did a full set of Married with Children, which was created by Michael Moya and my one-time writing partner Ron Levitt. And I was there in the audience of the pilot, and I knew that they had come up with something wonderful and unique. And it's really that the show wasn't really going anywhere until an organization of housewives in Michigan decided it was trash and awful, and tried to get it off the air. And people had to see this. What was so offensive that they had to watch it, and it became a massive hit and ran for 11 years, and is still doing very well in syndication and reruns for my friends' children and grandchildren.
It's a great show. It's classic.
Yeah. It is. It really was kind of, the pilot was really wonderful. It was kind of like Virginia, what's the name of the movie with Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Burton? Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? But a comedy version of these people just saying the most horrible things about each other and about marriage to their newlywed neighbors. and then at the end, after all this ugliness, they're walking up the stairs and he grabs her ass. It was just perfect. It really was great television.
Yeah. Right. Have you got another toy, Brian?
Do I have another toy? Let's get personal for a minute.
Okay.
After my mom passed away, we going through her stuff, I found a reel of 8mm film of a home movie that evidently one of my uncles took of me at like 9 months old to send to my grandparents who were living in Florida. And in it, you see the roots of my addiction. And there's this toy that I am just fascinated, isn't the word. Delighted, orgasmic at this hugely impressionable and young age. And after watching this several times, my wife went out and found me the toy. There he is, the Jolly Penguin from 1952. And he's a wind-up figure and flapped his arms and walked as this one does, but I don't want to challenge it.
No.
and that many times toys are memories. And for me, this is the Rosetta Stone, because it kind of set the table for a devotion and an attraction to these things that has lasted 71 more years.
Nice. Right, Larry, what do you got?
So,
where are we
keeping with the theme of he brought up the penguin, so I'm going to stay with something in the cold and sci-fi. I got my NECA thing figure, the 40th anniversary poster figure.
Nice.
Absolutely. I'm really, I love this figure so much. It's this one, I have it obviously unboxed because it's one of those I can't,
you have to turn it on.
It has to breathe. It has to show. I mean, it's a great figure. I mean, it's simple, but it's a really good one. Plus, I don't know yet. Carpenter wouldn't reveal that, but no, it's a really good. It's from my childhood. I mean, it's one of those things where it's a masterpiece of a film, and I still.
So, all right, here's a trivia question for you guys. Who played the Thing in the 1951 version?
James Arness.
Excellent. Very good.
Yep.
Brian, he was in Gunsmoke as well, right? He was.
Yes, Gunsmoke, which up until Law and Order Special Victims Unit was the longest running hour show in American television history at 21 years.
Nice.
Wow.
All right. Okay. That's never been beaten properly. Let's have a look. Marty, what do you got?
Okay, so again, I'm a bit of a NECA-phile when it comes to NECA. So I am not a fan of retro cloth figures, bar two. First is Quint from Jaws, Robert
Nice.
Shaw.
Nice.
My issue is that all the figures that came before these, it looked like children putting on their parents' fucking clothes. The clothes would hang off them. Like kind of not even as good as Mego. At least Mego, they kind of work. This, the clothes works, the scale works, and you cannot go wrong with Elvira as well.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So these two are the only two Mego retro or NECA retro cloths I own, because the clothes don't look like they don't make them look like kids wearing their parents' fucking clothes.
She looks to scale too.
She does.
Right. Was it my turn? All right. Mine's a 3-level one. Hang on, we'll start with the old one.
3-level one.
Do you recognize this one?
Oh.
Stupid light.
Well, that's got to be Buck Rogers again.
No. Underwater car.
Oh, Cannonball Run. No, not Cannonball Run. Fucking.
No.
James Bond. James Bond. Shit.
That's it. So it's got missile launchers. They do work, but these are replicas because the originals are lost. I won't click it off now.
Wait. What show is that?
James Bond, The Spy Who Loved Me.
Oh.
And then there's a helicopter that was chasing the car.
Yeah. Actually, I just saw the real version. Not that it's real. Of the sub. It's at the Peterson Auto Museum in Los Angeles.
Ah, nice. Yeah. There's the boxed one. The
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Garrett, is that the movie where the pigeon does a double take? Is that from that one with your man? From
It doesn't
Smoking
narrow it down.
Bandits?
I believe it is. You're gonna have a pigeon. It's got to do a double take. Yep.
so any other questions from your people?
There's some comments. Ben Grimm's here. He says there's an action figure museum in his state. It's curated by the guy who designed all the Simpson and Lord of the Rings figures.
Ooh.
Wow.
Which state is that?
Oh, it may be. I the only one I'm aware of is outside Phoenix, Arizona. That I don't know if that's it. And Ben Grimm looking much better than usual.
That's that's the. I think that's the. Was it the Peggy Bundy one? Was it? What did we do after Married with Children?
Yeah.
Mego. Used the Peggy Bundy. Simon was used in the Paranormal Activity, the Mark ones. I think that's the 5th film, is it?
I don't know.
And then going back to your ray gun. Yeah, what would customs make of you bringing that gun into the country? So,
I don't know how it got through. We also have rifles and things. Today they would be confiscated or sent to the Senate Committee on UFOs. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'd love to see Brian design stuff for a Fallout game. You know, the video game Fallout. Just the 50s retro kind of vibe. That'd be pretty cool.
There you go. It's Paul Valley, Oklahoma.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, put that on our travel plans.
Oh, there you go. We'll start with Brian, this is the guest of honor. Dream action figure. One that you'd love to see made that isn't already.
Wow.
Are there any that haven't been made into characters?
No, I'm a huge Marx Brothers fan and have, I believe, every figure and board game that's been made from Groucho or them. And it would really be great to do a 4 Marx Brothers set, or maybe a 5 or 6 with Margaret Dumont and people, and really do for old film comedy what they do for the monster movies and for the sci-fi and James Bond. And the other thing I've often thought of was I said to myself, ooh, I'm going to get the rights to American Bandstand and make figures of everybody who's ever been on. But of course, they don't own those rights. So that idea went down the toilet. I've often thought of starting a toy company, and then I discover how much it costs to make a single toy, which is upwards of like $25,000, which not including the design and maquette process and stuff. So it's you got to hand it to people like Todd McFarlane and people who really turned their love for something into a business and a successful one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Larry, is there anything that's not been made yet?
Yeah, I've had this conversation several times, but I'm gonna go. The one that sticks out in my head off the top of my head is and it has to do with one of the figures I'm going to show off. It's Bennett from Commando, Aneka Bennett. Aneka Bennett from Commando. That's what I'd like to see.
No, they haven't made one with a pipe sticking out of it.
That's the variant.
All right, Marty.
You can get modded kits of it, but the Kotoga monster from the Relic, because that design, I just need to see NECA do kind of like a deluxe edition of that, because that design is just fabulous.
Yeah.
The beauty of today is we don't have to have dream figures, really. We can have them 3D printed by terrific artists. And you can really own anything, and they really can't stop you from making one or two. Or Turbo Man, you just can't sell them. But if you join a club, the Turbo Man fan club, then you can do these things. And I saw on Instagram this week a woman who's a very good young Flintstone collector, and she was showing off some original 3D printed. A line of beautiful design, and really well done. That she got a whole set of them for $150, and I said, "Can you get me the name?" And she went back to someone she knew and got the name, and I'm gonna get a set, I think.
Nice.
So it's just we don't need to have dream figures anymore. We can make our dreams come true for half the price of half the shit we own.
Yeah, 2-day rentals is saying 3D printed and customs. You're absolutely right. Yes, there you
go. I did think of another one now.
Oh,
I did think of another one. The Gunstar from Last Starfighter.
Oh,
I would love that. I would love that ship.
They're not done one, huh?
I love that movie.
It's a great movie.
Robert Preston was great, and nobody saw it.
It's a great movie. Great movie.
Score
was epic.
The Sheep himself, wasn't it, Newcastle?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Michael says he reckons he's seen Impaled Bennett. He may have dreamt it. Right. Where are we? Brian, what have you got? You got
I'm running.
Are you running out of toys?
No, I went and grabbed a couple things off the shelf during the last preview.
Uh-huh.
And as I said, comedy is a huge part of my life. And I was so delighted when I discovered that they made toys. None of the Marx Brothers or stuff, but they did make silent comedians. This is a 1928 walking Harold Lloyd figure.
Oh wow!
And I don't like to wind them up, but for you guys, maybe a good idea, maybe not. No, not a good idea anymore. It needs a little oil, but you can see the mouth moves up and down sometimes. Give him a break. He's 95. There we go.
Does he do any stunts?
It just really pleases me when I see a Chaplin figure, and I just pulled down. Now I said that there are exceptions to the rule. Hand puppets. I'm a huge hand puppet collector, particularly of animated stuff from the 50s, because the sculpts are usually gorgeous and large size. everybody, Mighty Mouse, Popeye, every Saturday morning cartoon show and Disney character had hand puppets, and a lot of live people too, including, thanks for the memories, Bob Hope, ladies and gentlemen.
That looks so like Bob
Hello,
Hope.
Bob.
It's uncanny. It's scary.
Wow, the eyes and the chin. You got it perfect.
Yeah, no, thanks for the memories, Bob. No, I also have a Jimmy Durante and Pinky Lee. God, I got a lot of them.
Nice. Right, Larry, what do you got? Right.
Well, I kind of spoiled it with my dream figure, so you know, my NECA Commando.
Stick around.
I actually I had a local shop. They had this they put this up on their Instagram, and I started blowing up their DMs, and they were like, yeah, we'll save it for you. I'm like, all right, cool. And it's great. I mean, great price too, because compared to online, it's just, I mean, it's Commando. Look at this. Love this movie.
No, I wanted to start after Jingle. I said, I'm going to collect Arnold. And I got some of the last action hero stuff. And then I kind of gave up.
Leave it to Last Action Hero, right?
Yeah, was that the first one he did toys for?
No.
Terminator. I think. Terminator for Kenner was first.
Right, with the
Terminator 2.
The battery eye.
Yeah.
Right? Again,
and the exploding T-1000.
When you think about the first Terminator, that it was an $8 million movie.
Yeah.
And how simple some of the effects were that they did, just so. I remember one shot I saw the making of. He dives on the windshield of a car going 60 miles an hour, and then they show you how it was done. The guys are just shaking the car. He dives on, and they had brick walls attached to semi trailers. Long, and they had like 4 of them in a row, so that you could get like a 2.5 second cut of him moving past a wall or something, and they're just with leaf blowers hitting, making his hair move, and it's just so ingenious and simple and effective. And today you just would have blue screened it, but it just shows we've lost a lot of imagination. In fact, the Flintstones, you'd never make the Flintstones or Viva Rock Vegas the way we did. You'd have just doors and floors. That's all you would build, and you wouldn't build the creatures. You would still design them and do maquettes and things. But God, we've lost something there. We really have.
It is a shame.
But on the plus side, when for every movie, in order to make a good CGI double, they do a 360 scan of the stars, and so it really makes it easy to do great toys.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Right, Marty, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with this guy. This is Shin Godzilla.
Nice.
I have a couple of Godzilla figures, but I love this guy because if you've seen Shin Godzilla, it's okay. Godzilla, the original Godzilla was an analogy for the nuclear destruction of Japan. This guy is an analogy for the events of Fukushima and how it took so long for the Japanese people to respond and react. And it's just how grotesque it became, the situation became, and that's indicative of his kind of look. I mean, look at that face. I mean, that is just, and it's just a cool figure. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And also, if you get a chance, check out Godzilla -1. It just it beats out Shin Godzilla by a hair, but it's still a fantastic movie.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah.
So wait, is that the new one?
-1, yeah. Brian, -1 is set a couple of years after World War II, and essentially Japan is literally recovering, and then Godzilla comes out and literally puts them back to -1. Square One, once again,
Wow.
it's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I just read about this, and I said, well, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's another one with a tiny budget, isn't it? Right. I'm going to cheat again. So I've got some bubblegum. Which I'm not going to eat. Because I already tried one of them. So it's Batman 89.
Oh, nice. I remember those.
So I got Batman and the Joker. Where are we? Focus. And I have opened one. Well, I've dropped this, so they're all mixed up. But the gum is still there. It's a little rectangle. So yeah. I did try it, but that was 10 years ago when it was 20 years old or whatever it was. And it just turned to dust. But you get the box.
Oh,
Nice.
that's very nice. That's very nice. Yeah, no, I can't believe that people are doing CGC's, coffins for wax packs now.
What?
Yeah. Yes, they're wax packs and console video games. There's the big collectibles in the world today.
Right. It's getting ahead of the curve, isn't it? Investing. She'll remortgage the house. Right, where we go? Brian.
Well, before I have to go back and get to it, let's go back to the Flintstones for a little bit. For the second film, Viva Rock Vegas, they thought that the reason that the huge Mattel and other companies' toy lines weren't as successful as the film was because they were based on the human characters playing the Fred and Barney, Wilma, Betty, Bam Bam, Pebbles, Mr. Slate, Miss Stone, and all that. And so for all the related merchandise for Viva Rock Vegas, they used our designs with classic Flintstone figures. A good example of this is the toys that were made for Bronto King, Burger King, Bronto King in our film. And I got they're beautiful. They're really, really fun toys. And they were nice enough to give me the maquettes. And this is the maquette for the Walking Fred. This is a Cadillac. Which is actually based on a 1959 Cadillac. I mean, we even found, I don't know what they're called. They're like cylindrical, pointed fossils of some old, like snails, except really weird shape that we used thousands of them, or molded. We molded one and then made thousands for the grill and used shells for it. And so this is, I'll tap it if you can hear it. And this is, and here is the actual Burger King. Let me get this for a better angle for you, so you can see that it's actually a bit smaller. I'm really doing a bad job of this, but it's kind of ingenious in that it is a wind up, and you wind it up, and let me get a couple good cranks in here, and of course it's not working right. Yes, now you can see. And so Fred's and that is how it's propelled. So I thought that was very clever, and I don't think having the classic characters did much for the toy sales, anyways.
Because I don't know McDonald's and Burger King in the States, but here they're just turning into either cardboard toys that you put together like a puzzle, or they're soft toys.
Well, the golden age is gone because I think they discovered that they weren't getting a big enough return on their investment, and movies are not as big today. Yes, you can get lucky with Super Mario or something like that, but for the most part, that's not where the action is. That's not where the kids' minds are. And they've lost their appetite for it to a large degree. I think they did Space Jam, the second one, and stuff. But it's not what it was for collectors or for movie studios.
Right. Who's up? Larry, is it?
Yes. So kind of going back to what Marty was saying, he's not a big retro cloth figure person for NECA. I'm not either because these are the ones that they would come out before with, which I love the fog. So I got Captain Blake. I don't know if it picks it up well enough. The eyes light up for this one.
Oh,
what was that?
Right. Is it Nick Castle did the acting for that one? Did he?
No, actually, this for Blake, it's actually Rob Bottin. For the main one was actually Rob Bottin. Right. He's the one that did the effects for it. We also have Stevie Wayne from the Fog too that I wanted to show.
The upside down cross.
What is that one from?
Yeah. The Fog.
Oh, okay, beautiful.
John Carpenter's The Fog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This one, I like that they're actually doing this type of packaging now, like what they did with the Elvira. Yeah, and I have all three of the Elviras that they've released too. So, again, I'm not a big retro cloth person, but I had to have this one because I love The Fog. And then obviously Captain Blake because, again, I love The Fog.
I'm sorry, I don't know this term, retro cloth. What does that mean?
So it's like
to the Mego, kind of a throwback to the Mego figure.
Oh, okay, so yeah, with the clothes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, not nude.
Yeah.
Well, that's very specific. I like the clothes. So, it makes it more like a toy.
Right, Marty.
I'm gonna go with this. I don't know if any of you guys grew up with Micro Machines back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Machines done a bunch of kind of tie-ins to different movies. I want to get my hands on the Alien and Predator sets, but I found this in a thrift shop, and it's a bit of a pain to open now. And I'm trying to open it. There we go.
Oh, wow.
So you got the Death Star there. And you have Mos Eisley.
On the side.
Yeah, I just have it in the kind of cargo bay, and the creepy thing is as well, it's got the corpses of Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen carved outside their house. But yeah, I can buy this in the thrifties, and I had to pick it up, and the guy was like, "Oh yeah, also these came with it," and I got about 50 Micro Machines vehicles and little figures with it, and I paid $20 for it, and it was well worth it.
Wow. Yeah, definitely.
That's a beautiful toy.
That's a bargain.
That's a great pickup, man.
That is, yeah. Where's all the stuff I bought? Oh, I got a little one now. Right, here we go. And let's see if you know this.
Starsky and Hutch.
That's it.
Nice.
Little red light, doesn't do anything, but little wheels. But I don't know if it's happened in the States, but when this used to be, used to have an extended bit of card with the picture onto the two guys.
Yes.
But when they stopped selling them and put them away, they used to cut that bit off. I don't know if it was for storage space or what, but shops used to cut it up.
That's how you get a deal.
Yeah.
Maybe someone just really liked pictures of David Soul. Just wanted to take it home. Just like,
don't give up.
They cut it out and they framed it.
Yeah. He's the Soul Man.
Right. Brian, back to you.
Well, we're running low here, but I just grabbed another one that's of great cultural value. My Scooby-Doo: The Mystery Begins debuted. It was 50 years after Scooby-Doo debuted. Was it 50 or 40? 69 to 2009. What is that? Is that 50 years? Yes, that's 50 years. And I started collecting Scooby-Doo stuff. And I finally found the original Scooby-Doo toy. This was the very first licensed Scooby toy out of Japan. I've seen it with the collar. This one doesn't seem to have lost it, so there might have been two different versions of a tag rather on the collar. But I love the expression and the size because most Scooby-Doo stuff is pretty small. They've never made big figures. See, that's what I love about horror stuff. They make things at real scale, and the sideshow figures, it's like you own Clark Kent, for God's sakes. They're huge. I don't know how people display it. They have 20 of them. I don't know how they display them. You got to build a room or something. But this is a good size.
Yeah. Nice. Because it's, like you said, it's 60 years now. Is this Scooby-Doo? 60 something, 64 years?
Wow.
About 62. And it's an amazing franchise in that they keep finding new, not very new, but new. Warner Brothers did not like our take on Scooby-Doo because we broke the formula. And their formula was it's always somebody fake. And Peter Roth, who was the head of Warner Brothers Television, started his career in Saturday morning TV on ABC with the show. So he was a purist. He just wanted kids, they can't go anywhere. It has to be in Coolsville. It has to be somebody impersonating a monster. We wanted real monsters with humans controlling them. That was our template for both films and the two that we didn't make, that we developed scripts for. After the success of the movies, they wanted to turn it into a series until they discovered that it would cost about $800,000 a week for Scooby-Doo. Wow. And then the numbers didn't add up for them. But, they're so stupid because it's a perennial and an investment you made in 2013. You'd still be playing them off today and earning on them. So people are very short-sighted, and they're not, the thing about what collectors have is passion for projects and for franchises specifically. And that isn't shared by the people who are responsible for airing these things. And that's kind of a shame. Yeah, once in a while you get somebody who really loves things, knows their stuff, but it's rare. It's rare.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. What we keep hearing about. But yeah. Right. What's Larry got?
So I'm gonna take it back to horror a little bit. I actually picked this guy up this year. I didn't even know they made this, but it's a full moon Radu from Subspecies. I'm a huge Subspecies fan. I went into a local store, and they had a whole peg full of these guys. I never knew they made them. And
how many films have they done?
They've done 5 now, and then there's one spin-off.
Yeah, okay.
And so, what's an edition of that? How many of those do they make, do you think?
That I don't know. I didn't. Like I said, this is from '98, so I mean, I'm not too. They're so. I don't think they just. I think they just mass produced them because, like I said, I went into the store and they had a whole peg full of these.
But what
they had some other figures
produced on an item like that, do you think? I mean, is it 15,000? I mean, what would a mass run on something like that be? What is it? Is there a market for 15,000 of those, or do they make 5,000? I'm really curious.
That I'd have to look that up because I mean, Full Moon. I mean, I know they mass produce stuff. I mean, they have a bunch of other figures apparently that I didn't know that they made, but yeah, I know. For this one, it was just one of those where I love the series, and a little fact or a little inside thing. I talked to Charlie Ban in May. NECA's actually going to release Subspecies figures. Ooh. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm really excited about that. I saw this when I was too young to watch it, so and here we are.
The best ones always are.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Commando, RoboCop, Predator.
Did they make any? Was it RoboCop and Rambo did TV shows? Did they make any cartoons? Didn't they? Did they make toys for the cartoon shows?
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
I
had a Rambo.
Force of Freedom.
What was the company that made the Rambo ones? They were the same ones that done Star Force. They had the backpacks that were kind of battery operated or mechanically operated. I'm trying to think what the.
I don't remember the company, but I know I believe the same company did. I want to say they did the Chuck Norris figures too, which I had a Chuck. I had a Chuck Norris also. I had a Chuck Norris figure as
I
well.
wouldn't admit it.
Well, it's from the cartoon, so I mean, for me, and the cartoon version of Chuck Norris.
Of course they did.
And that's who he is, isn't it? He is the cartoon version of Chuck Norris.
I wouldn't say that to his face.
Yeah,
Ronnie's 85. How much can he do?
Right, Marty.
Going back to what Larry was saying, yeah, I think studios knew that kids were watching these movies because this is the Kenner Alien Queen. I got this for my 11th birthday from my brother, along with a VHS copy of Alien. He was like, "Yeah, here you go, watch it away." Spring still works. Tail.
Oh man, that's great.
And the tongue, there's a bladder in the back that makes the tongue shoot out. And no, again, I think studios were like, okay, kids are watching this shit while their parents are asleep. Let's get in on this action. You got Commando, you got RoboCop, you got the Terminator. You cannot tell me, oh, we'll make a cartoon to tie in. Sure, lads, sure. That was.
Well, for that one, they made a cartoon for Aliens, right?
They never made. Fun fact, Larry, they actually didn't make the cartoon. They made a commercial, an animated commercial. Right? It was going to be called Operation Aliens. They wanted to see how it would fare with kind of fucking test audiences and stuff. So they had the first 5 minutes of an animated pilot. They showed it to execs. Execs were like, Alien 3 just came out. We just had an autopsy on a child, and Sigourney Weaver just jumped into molten lava. This ain't going to run well with kids. So they converted the 5-minute pilot into a commercial for the figures.
For the toy line, yeah.
Very clever.
I'm really jealous of you having that, man. Because like I had a ton of those Alien figures. I even had the power loader, but I could never find that queen.
Hang on a minute. I gotta show you one other thing. I don't have it in the box, but I got this guy.
Oh yes, that's his new one.
Yeah, I saw that on your page. I was like, man, that's awesome.
That's the Blade Fighter. The Predators.
I don't remember that in the film.
Bike. yeah. Remember picked up Barney?
It's a deleted scene, Gareth.
Oh, I haven't seen the deleted scene bits. Yeah, that makes more sense.
They couldn't use it because Van Damme crashed it. Van Damme was the one who was flying it and crashed it.
Thought Sam Jones was riding it. Right, what do you got?
Oh, for me? Well, the last one I pulled. This is the last one I pulled. Where the hell is it?
All right, I've done my last one.
Now, we were talking about 3D toys, and there's a young filmmaker in Pittsburgh who I've been watching his stuff, and he's really got a lot of potential, and he was very grateful that I've taken an interest in him, and he 3D printed me for my birthday last year.
That's awesome.
And the shirt is actually the gift that we gave to the crew for the second Scooby-Doo movie. The balls refer to, as soon as we shoot a scene, we go balls and bring in the mirrored ball and the gray ball and stuff so that the CGI people would know how to light Scooby. And everybody would scream ball, so that's what was on the front of the shirt. And he didn't know what was on the back because he couldn't see that. But it just goes to show you, that there's a new world happening, and I wish I had those skills to make a 1939 Batman and Robin, or a 1937 Superman, they make them, but it would be so great to do it exactly the way you'd want to, and people are, and like I said, it's really opening doors, and I don't know how they're going to handle the copyrights on stuff like this. I mean, it may become secret societies of collectors, but that's the future, I think, in collecting. Really, and don't be dependent on NECA and Sideshow to take your money away.
Yeah, you can get the file and download it yourself. There you go. Just a little bit of sanding and a bit of paint. Right. Larry, last one.
Last one? Okay, so let's see.
many
What do I want to... Yeah, exactly. So I guess I'll stick with the Predator. I'll show two. I'll show two of my favorite figures. They're both NECAs. Grayback, the Elder Predator from Predator 2. Absolutely, this figure is great. Ever since I first saw him in Predator 2, I have been a huge fan. And that NECA released or announced him, I was super.
Has he got the
I
old
needed
gun?
this figure. Yes, he does.
Also.
Yeah, he does have the old gun, and can't really. I'd have to take him out, this head sculpt actually lights up.
Rip him out.
I did review him, so I did take him out. But the eyes light up on the second head sculpt, and my other favorite Predator that they released this year was the one from Prey, the Feral Predator.
Yeah, that one's awesome.
This one is just like, man, if you've seen the film, I mean, he's just a beast. And I got to meet the actor that played the Feral Predator, and he was super cool. And he went into the whole like how NECA flew him out to get the whole body, the everything. Like they got with him for every little detail, like the coloring of the Predator, everything, and it shows. I mean, it's ridiculously cool. This is probably like one of my favorite figures of the year.
Larry, you know the bolt gun is magnetic as well. I only found that out a couple of days ago. The backpack is magnetic, but also the bolt gun as well. And I was like, why is it sticking to everything? And I was like, oh, it's magnetic as well.
How much better is that you don't have a bunch of things that fell off and you have no idea what happened to them?
Well, see, I didn't know it was magnetic, because I was just like, even when I reviewed it, and I was just like, I'm not sure where this goes to, and then it's not until later that I found out that I was like, wow, no wonder why I'm seeing like metal pieces around the figure. I thought it was just like, oh, he's scratched up or something or whatever, but then I found out it's magnetic. I'm like, man, that's super cool.
Nice. It's very nice. Marty,
last one, and keeping on the theme of Predator that Larry started. It's a piggy bank. It's a Vision Predator piggy bank.
That's cool.
How much is in there?
About 5 cents. It's Diamond Select. The thing is, I'm not going to put money in it because I can't see any visible lock to take the money out. So I don't end up putting like some old.
It's one of those smash it up ones. Nice.
It's like Diamond Select is like 2 ways it's taking your money.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right, hang on. So yeah, Mr. Levant's book is in the chat. There we go. So check it out on Amazon.
Nice.
All your favorites, all in one book.
It's available worldwide, and it's free postage because it's very heavy.
Don't let that stop you. It's good exercise.
And like he says, gotten a Happy Days one. So when's that next year?
Yes, in mid-September 2024, 50 years of Happy Days will be on the stands with a foreword by the Fonz himself, Henry Winkler.
Oh, nice!
Wow, nice.
All new interviews with him and Ron Howard and Marion Ross, Donnie Mose, Scott Baio, Ted McGinley, Anthony Williams, Gary Marshall's widow, everybody who ever still around.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Yep. Because was it Ted McGinley went on to Married with Children as well, didn't he? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the Love Boat and such, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Ted was hired on Happy Days off a calendar and learned acting the hard way in front of 20 million people every week, and has now amassed over 500 credits.
Nice.
That's an amazing achievement.
Yeah, even Samuel L. Jackson, who appears in everything, hasn't got that many. So, yeah. Right, let's wrap this up. I will thank my guest, Brian Levant. Thanks for joining us and showing off your lovely, was it about 0.5% of your collection? Anything that there was at hand. Larry, the High Rocket Dad, and his lovely collection, and Marty for joining us again. Thanks.
Cheers.
So I will wrap this up and say good night to you all. And until next time, good night, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Been fun. Nice to meet you guys.